Y'all, it's Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms. Today we're going to do a little bit of a checkup on the nannies. We're about 2 weeks away from having kids, so I want to show you some of the things I look at when I'm looking at very heavy pregnant does. We'll kind of look at those. If you can see behind me, we got a little bit of a project going on. That'll be in the next video, hopefully. It's supposed to come out on the day that you're seeing this video, but I'm gonna put this one out first instead, because I had a little accident yesterday where I fell off of a ladder and ended up with several stitches. So I'm gonna let that heal a little bit before I finish that project. But y'all stick with us and we're gonna get busy. And picked up some feed earlier. We're going to go ahead and get that put away into some barrels. We'll get some in a bucket and we'll go up there and start feeding the nannies, and we'll get a little better look at them up there and just see how far along they're coming with the pregnancy. Kind of hard to feed one. Alright, so looking at several of the girls, they're getting really big. Me and Piper have a little bet going about how many babies we're going to have. What's your guess, Piper?
9 or 10. I'm thinking more towards 10 though.
She said 10. I'm going to say 15. I think the loser's going to have to kiss a baby goat on the lips, ain't that right? In a couple weeks.
I guess.
So we'll see after they all get done kidding. We'll go through and I'll kind of show you a couple that I think are heavy bred, what I think we'll probably get out of them. Don't know, haven't ultrasound them or anything like that. We don't do that here. But so this girl right here, the Savannah goat, you can see she's the widest one I have, and her milk sac has been coming in for a little while now. So I think she's going to be one of my first ones to have kids. This girl right here is another Savannah. She's getting pretty wide too. The milk's coming in. This one right here I don't believe is bred. If she is, she's later on, because she doesn't have a milk sac yet. This girl right here, I believe she's bred. She's a nanny that's had 2 kids now. She's starting to put on a milk sac. This Kiko goat right here, she's starting to fill up with milk. Another Savannah that's starting to get pretty thick. She's got a good milk sac on her already. And this Nigerian goat right here that I don't know why I still have, she's starting to get pretty big as well. This girl starting to fill out. So we're gonna have some babies here soon. I think we're 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks away. Start seeing some babies on the ground. The Billy was in for 2 months. So we have about a 2-month gap that they could possibly have babies. I don't know if this one got bred. She's not really putting on any milk, but she is kind of wide. I know this brown one right here is not bred. She was standing by the fence the other day acting like she was in heat. But we'll see how many we actually end up with. These are the 2 goats that I bought from my buddy. I know this one on the left's already had a kid, so I don't think she's bred. She's pretty thin. She's actually gained some weight since she's been here. But this one on the right, she's a little bit younger than that one. And she's got a little bit of a belly on her, and she looks like she might be developing a milk sac. Could be just fat. But if she's bred, I think she's gonna be right along the same time frame as the rest of these, which is good because I like to synchronize my breeding. I like to have all my babies on the ground at one time. And I said a minute ago that I know this one's not bred, and another one that I don't think is bred. And the reason because of that is they have more of a milk goat trait to them. There's some goats that I've had for a long time. I used to have all kind of mixed goats, and it's just kind of a couple goats that I held on to for a while. And milk goats tend not to breed year round like your milk goats tend not to breed year round like your meat goats do. And so I believe that's why I tried breeding in July, which I shouldn't have. I should have waited till about this time of year, but I wanted to go ahead and because I had a couple that didn't breed, and I wanted to get them all caught at one time. But we'll let them kid out, and then we're gonna hold off for a little while and breed them again. But that's farther down the road. But that's the reason I don't think a couple of these girls are bred, just because they carry a little bit of a milk goat trait to them.
She can make it first. That's my cover.
So that's our guesses. You heard it. Piper said we're gonna have 10 babies. I think we'll have around 15. We'll see who loses the bet. But typically when I'm looking at nannies to have babies, I kind of know the window just because I put a Billy in, I write that down when I put them in, and I write it down when I pull them out, so I know a time frame that I'm gonna have babies, and I know who missed and who didn't get bred. So like I said, we're about 2.5 weeks away, and they'll have about 2 months to have babies. And I'm not gonna really judge them too much if they don't have babies, because like I said a minute ago, that I did put the Billy in kind of a weird time to be trying to breed. But if we have some babies on the ground and they're healthy, I'm happy with it. So everything's looking good. We're getting some milk sacs starting to add on. Some bellies are starting to get wide. We're gonna leave these girls alone, let them enjoy their supper. We're gonna go check on the Billies and feed them, and check on the pigs, make sure they got feed and water. So I was talking about a second ago, I didn't think they're all bred. Obviously this girl right here is in heat. And I've noticed, like I said, that one right here, she was in heat the other day. So I decided to go ahead and put my Billy back in, see if you can get a couple nannies bred. They'll be born in about March at time frame. So that'll be fine, because I don't plan on breeding again until next August, September-ish. So we're gonna go ahead and get this bred. I don't know if this one's, she's wagging her tail. That's a telltale sign that she's in heat. I thought she was pregnant, but she might not be. But the wagging her tail, we'll just give them a chance to make sure, and we might just have 2 kid crops this year. So now I got to cut these. I got 4 little nannies in here I need to cut out real quick, and we got to figure out how to get them some water, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so it turned out to be more of an interesting video than I thought. We got this guy up here by himself now. We turned the big Billy in with the nannies to clean up what I think is about 2 or 3 nannies that didn't get bred. We separated off these 4 young nannies that I don't want to get bred yet. They're just not old enough. And so, if all goes to plan, those couple will get cleaned up and we'll have babies in March again. And we're gonna get these guys some water, and I'll probably set them up some kind of temporary shelter tomorrow afternoon. That's not supposed to have any rain tonight, so they'll be fine tonight. They'll do just fine. So we're gonna give them some water. Turned out to be an interesting day. So I guess this video was a little different than I set out for it to be, but that's all right. We got to check the nannies. We got to see how pregnant they were, how many we think we're gonna have. And there was a couple in there that I didn't think was bred, and I have been debating on putting that Billy in, so it's not too big of a change of plans. He's in now. It's October 21st, so we should have babies in about 150 days from that nanny that he's breeding right now for sure. She was definitely in heat. She was standing by the fence, wagging her tail. He was standing there with her, and she stood to be bred once I put the Billy in. So she's definitely in heat, so hopefully she takes. And like I said, there's a couple in there that I don't think's bred, and one for sure I've seen her acting like she was in heat, and I was debating on putting the Billy in there now, but he's in there. So a little bit of change of plans won't be too bad. I'm trying to get to a schedule where I'm breeding once a year, and this will just ensure me that I'm not waiting a whole year without having babies and just feeding the goat for no reason. But I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. We're gonna get these young nannies some water. So that'll be it for this video. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified next time we post a video. And we'll see y'all on the next one.